Alright guys, Rob Caputo here for another episode of Talking with Cars, and today I have the new MJJC Pro version 3 bottle. Actually, this is the old one. What am I doing? This is the new one. Can you tell the differences? Well, they are different, and we're going to go through the details in just a moment. This is Talking with Cars. All right, so first things first, let's talk about the time that it took to get this bottle. Now, I know if you're watching my video, you've probably watched a couple other videos already because you're interested in a new bottle to see if they made improvements, and they absolutely did. I mean, they wouldn't have taken 6 to 8 months, however long it took to get to this point, you know, without making some major improvements. So, you know, first off, I noticed that the bottle is slightly smaller. You know, I don't know why that is. It might just be the tolerances and stuff like that, but it is a slight, like a hair, maybe an eighth of an inch, less than an eighth of an inch smaller. Not that it makes any difference. It still holds the same volume of liquid and material, so no problems there whatsoever. The tops are the same, right? They sent me this and only this, right, as a replacement because I bought the original one, and obviously these were very brittle. This is the PETG material. This is the thermoplastic that's actually that's painted, that's very brittle, and everyone who's interested in these has seen Kiev, you know, throw these off, you know, drop them full of water and all that kind of stuff. And they were super brittle. I mean, no question about it. So I'm glad I didn't break mine, but I know I drop my bottles every now and then. And once I saw his video on this, I really stopped using it. And to be quite honest, I never really cared for the way that this actually mated to the manifold. I always thought it was sort of loose. Never really cared for it. You know, when it's in a dry state, it's not that bad. You know, it feels snug, but when there's soap in here and you have a little bit of that lubricity from the soap, this is like really loose, you know. So the old one had the milliliters, just so you know, the graduated, like, you know, milliliter symbols here. The new one has both. Well, no, it doesn't. I thought it did have both, but anyway. Oh, I know what the difference is. This stopped at 1,000 milliliters and this stops at 1,200 milliliters. Emphasizing the fact that it actually holds up to 1,200 milliliters. Not that I think you really need 1,200 milliliters, but if you're washing 2 cars, then I could see it coming in handy, you know, because then you could use 1,200 milliliters of liquid diluted soap in here and go to town. So that was my first complaint about this. Obviously the breakage, and I didn't really care for this painted surface because it wasn't translucent and you can't really see anything in it other than the sight glass that you have here. Those were big, and I kind of just put it aside and I never used it. And I was developing my own Foamcannon, so ended up using mine anyway. So the new one is more translucent, right? So it is a painted surface. It's a little bit more of a pearled finish, as you can tell. I don't know if you can see that in this camera. Hopefully it does it justice. But it is translucent, right? If you look through it, you can see on the other side. You can see my hand, you know, kind of like passing through it. So when you put liquid in here and it's colored, you'll actually physically see the liquid inside and you can see where you're at. So it's helpful. You know, as you're going through a car and you're 50% done with the car, you kind of want to know that you're about 50% done with the liquid too in this bottle, that you're not overusing it. But, you know, it's just kind of like a metric, you know, when you're kind of working through vehicles. So now this material is a PP. Yeah, it's a PP. So it's another type of thermoplastic, I believe, and I'll put the little Wikipedia thing up here, you know, in terms of what PP is. But it is definitely more flexible. Kiev has already done his tests, throwing it and doing all his tests, and it passed with flying colors. The other thing that I noticed too is that the old one has these rubber O-rings at the top. The new one, although it has a spot for them, and you can put those O-rings on here because it's the same diameter and everything, you don't need it. And I checked with MJJC about it, and I asked them about it, and I said, you know, do you need to switch this one to this one? And they said, no, all you need is the one gasket they give you. And that's this one right here. Where did I put that? Right here. And this gasket, where this goes, is inside this manifold, right? It goes into the top here. So we're gonna have to kind of use a little pick, put this in there, and that'll seat the new bottle into this manifold a lot better. So that's kind of like what they're aiming for. And again, you know, just to kind of remind everyone, this is $109. It's stainless steel, mostly stainless steel. There are some brass pieces here. And I believe when I open this up, I believe the orifice in here was a 1.25 out of the box. And what I put in here is a stainless steel 1.1. So, because that works better with the setup that I have. I kind of like the way it foams up. I could use a 1.19 or a 1.25. It'll work just as well. And we all know how these things work. The MJJCs, I'm not even going to do a video showing you how it foams because it foams really well. All right, I lied. I'm going to show you what it looks like. MJJC is the OG when it comes to foaming, when it comes to the output, when it comes to quality. They did a really good job, and I always go back to them as a datum point, even when developing my Foamcannon, you know, because it looks more like the MJJS series. So let's go ahead. Let's put this O-ring into, or this flat O-ring, I should say, into this manifold, and we'll use a pick to do that. We'll get this tube out of the way. And it looks like they give you two. Is it two or one? It looks like it's two. Do I put them both in? I don't know. There's two of these in here, and they're very thin. So do I put one in? I mean, it's so thin. It's very weird. I don't know, maybe just one. Let's put one in here. Let's kind of throw it in, see how it works. We're gonna need a pick to basically just kind of place it in behind the collar that's in here. And I think that's all you need to do. Just so it seats well. And again, I double checked with the company, and they said you don't have to put the O-rings in or anything. This is the new one. I get confused really quickly. And it seats nice. So I don't know if you need both of them in there. I'm going to ask them. And I'll put a little note here to see if you need both of them in there or just the one. Maybe they just give you an extra one. But it's so thin, I don't even know like how it's doing anything. But I guess it just helps seat it a little bit better, so there's less leaking. So, and this is a really good manifold. I mean, it's got the diaphragms in here, you know, so it's leak proof, and it got a little heft to it. So it's definitely a good high quality unit. All right, so I mean, I guess those are really the key components. You know, everything else. It sits really nice and snug. It looks great. The translucent bottle. This is a painted bottle because I remember when I saw Key's video, when he dropped it, you could see kind of like scarring on the bottle. So this will eventually wear away. I don't know how long that's going to take, but yeah. And it looks like I have to kind of cut my draw tube down a little bit. So let's do that because it kind of sits down at the bottom a little too far. So we're going to cut that down like maybe 1/4 of an inch. See what that does. Put that other O-ring back. Because what you want is you want the draw tube to be able to kind of flow around. You know, that's not too bad. I think I can kind of remove just a hair more. All right. I think this is going to be just perfect. All right. It fits in there nice. Draw tube is in the corner. You can circle it around, right? So it's just long enough where it kind of seats around the perimeter. And then it'll pick up the soap no matter where you are, which direction you're foaming the car. So that's perfect. So, hey, hats off to MJJC. Just wanted to share a quick video showing you the new updated bottle. I'll put the links down below of other YouTubers that are actually sharing the actual use of it. I'm going to use my snow foam that I'm developing right now, Blue Crush, talking with Cars Auto Soap. And we're going to try that out in the upcoming weeks. But for now, I wanted to share that the new bottle is out. I have a link down below with a little bit of a coupon code, so it'll save you some money, because $109 is pretty steep. You get 2 of mine, just saying. MJJC is the OG, no question about it. Talk to you later. Peace. Woo!